Hey, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to Show and Tell with Dustin and Michelle. And today I am so excited. We're both excited to have Kristi here from Booty and the Posh. And I have to start this out. I was wondering why you didn't go with Pirate Booty in the
So it's really funny that I knew you were going to ask about my name. And so my last name has Booth in it. And my husband, people used to call him, his name's Jason. They used to call him J Booty. So at some point I changed my Instagram and I was K Booty. And then in 2018, when I signed up for Poshmark, I was like, what can I make my name? And I'll be like, oh, Booty and the Posh. And this is when I had no business ideas or any future thoughts in my mind. So I was like, that works. Then I never I listed a pair of boots and I didn't go back on Poshmark for 3 years. And now here we are. And now my name is Booty and the Posh. And I recently listened to the Thrifter Sisters podcast. Do you know who they are?
The Thrifter Sisters?
Yeah, they did an episode on fetish and kink in reselling. And I was like, oh my God, I need to change my name. So that's my long story about Booty and a Posh. It is not supposed to be sexual, although obviously booty, but it's related to my last name.
That's the greatest story ever, and totally makes sense why you didn't call it Pirate Booty.
Although with the kids, I should have.
Yeah, it's so cute though. It's catchy. It's really catchy. I love it.
I was wondering. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was wondering if it was a play on Beauty and the Beast or something like that.
So it was kind of that as well. My brother-in-law got married and their hashtag, his fiance was from Georgia, and they did Booty and the Peach. And it was right around the same time. So I was like, oh, Booty and the Posh. That sounds like, the Beauty and the Beast play kind of reminded me of that. And so, yeah, for sure. So should I just change it to Beauty and the Posh? But I feel like that would be weird.
I know. I like Booty and the Posh. I mean, mine is the Attic Addicts, which I have to say 6 times to explain it to everybody because they don't know it's plural and whatever. And then if you put it in, it doesn't really bring up the best. It's like rehabs and stuff, which are very important, but not easy to. That's not where I want to go. So I need a new name too. But anyway, so you're in Connecticut.
Yes.
Okay. And you are married.
Yes.
Okay. And how many kids do you have?
So I have 3 boys. They are going to be 3, 8, and 10.
Okay.
So yeah, hands full. My husband's like, let's have another. And I'm like, no, I can't handle the 3 I have. But I love them. They're amazing.
Well, the good thing about having a 3 and an 8 and an 8 and a 10-year-old is that the 8 and the 10-year-old are in school.
Yes. Yeah.
So then you have the 3-year-old, and that's not that it's easy because it's not, but I think that was pretty good. Pretty good idea to have the 2 in school.
Yeah, and the older 2 are very helpful. And honestly, I had wanted to have my last closer in age, and it just didn't work out that way. There was other plans, but I don't think I would have been able to handle a 2-year age gap and then another 2 year. No, it really worked out the way it was supposed to.
That's great. And it always does. And that's the fun part about life. If you just let things happen and you're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And you're always happy because you're always.
It's funny. Yeah. It's funny too, because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and some people were like, I had the baby when my youngest was just about to go to kindergarten, and they were like, that's convenient. And I was like, well, no, it's not like that.
There's pros and cons. So let's just backtrack for 1 second. So you said that in 2018, you put the boots up there. Did they ever sell after 3 years of you never even going back to Poshmark?
So they have sold now, but it's funny because I had taken my pictures on my bed or whatever and posted these boots, and I didn't know how the app really worked. And then just forgot about them. And then I think in the time span, I also had gotten a new phone. And And then one of my friends was talking to me in 2021 COVID times about how she's sold all this stuff on Poshmark and am I on Posh? And I was like, what's Posh? Literally, like totally forgotten. So I logged back in and I had a comment like on the boots probably in 2020. And it was like, are these still available? And I was mortified. Like I was mortified. But it's so funny. Like I also wasn't really set up well for selling then. Like I didn't even have a printer. Like what would I have done? Like if those boots had sold, they wouldn't have been able to even print the shipping label, you know? So they have sold, thankfully. But yeah.
So
Awesome.
when did you decide that you were going to do your part-time, right?
Yeah.
So when did you really pick it up and decide you were going to take it a little bit more, seriously, or take it to the next step?
Yeah. So I sold in 2021 for like 6 months, like my own stuff, my kids' stuff, my husband's stuff. And I think I only sold like 25 things in those 6 months, but I mean, that's still decent.
Yeah.
And then it was like January 2022. So last January. And I kind of realized that the people with like the thousands of items in their closet that they were reselling and like that it was a thing. I feel like I was very naive to that beforehand because I didn't really look around at other people's stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I could do this. So it was really like 2022, January. I started like Googling things and trying to figure it out. And I kind of hit the ground running. Do you guys know who Becky Park is?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
obviously like I found some of her videos on YouTube. And it was really funny because like I would watch her what sold videos and then like I would watch her list perfectly videos. And it was like, if Becky did it, like I was going to do it. So, which is not like a great way to like, to do anything.
Well,
But
she
but it was
inspired
like,
you.
yeah. And like when I say like I decided, it was like February, it was like a year ago, like 2 weeks ago. And I literally like signed up for Mercari, like eBay, List Perfectly, Posher VA, like all that month. And I was like, I'm going in.
Yeah, head first, right?
Right.
Awesome. So did I get this right? I actually saw from your Instagram post that you maybe have started your business with just selling things around your house.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I
Okay.
first listed things, it was just all of our own stuff. And like it was COVID. And I know there was a lot of people that like looked around their house and they were like, oh, like I'm going to DIY my bathroom. I'm going to like do this project. And I looked around my house and I was like, oh, I could sell that. And I could sell that. I could sell that. So yeah, it just became like a little addiction. And I haven't invested in any other money except for like what I've earned from selling my own stuff in the beginning. And now I'm kind of past selling my own stuff. Like I'll still sell my own stuff, but now I just find it more enjoyable to source things.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like 100% just from my own closet, my own, my kids' closets. There's so much stuff that we don't, need or use.
I know. It's so true. And so you were saying that in 2021, you sold like within that 6 months, you sold about 25 pieces. I haven't asked the question to anyone yet, actually, about what was it like selling during COVID? I wasn't. Did you find it? Was it more difficult? Were people asking like how?
I don't feel like people were really asking questions at that point during COVID, but I feel like if it had been like the 2020 early COVID, that people probably would have been like, was this Lysol? Was this washed with Clorox? Is that the kind of questions you mean? Like things like that?
Yeah. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, no, I feel like it seemed pretty normal at that point because it was like late COVID. But yeah.
What's the most enjoyable thing for you that you enjoy selling? And you said I love sourcing, and you know what? So do I. And that's my problem. Is I love to source, and then you know how that goes.
I know. I really like. It's so funny because I know there's so many different like things that you can, resell, like hard goods and clothes, but I really just love clothes. I feel like they're easy. I don't mind like the measuring for photos. I feel like you can store them easily. Like, they, fold up nice into a little Ziploc bag versus, I mean, I do sell shoes too, but I don't have like a plethora of shoes. So mostly clothes. In the beginning, I was doing like a lot of my husband's and the kids' stuff. And I did source some men's and some kids, but I'm trying to kind of like niche down now and not do, men's and kids as much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's men's and kids for me are also kind of tricky. It depends on the designers. If it's like a Hannah Anderson or something like that,
Right.
I do pretty well with those. But it's I understand about focusing on one thing. When I first started, I kind of just threw everything up in the air. I was like, let's see what sticks,
Right.
And that is kind of what you sort of,
Yeah.
it happens at the beginning.
And I still have a lot of that stuff listed because like it's not taking up a ton of space. Like I'm not at a point where I have thousands of items. So like it might as well stay up. I did take down some things like in January of this year, but yeah. And I'll add my husband had some awesome stuff. And he used to be a practice player for the University of Connecticut's women's basketball team. And he had like all this really amazing Nike stuff. And I sold that like last year in March around the time of like the Final Four in March Madness.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like my best month ever. And I still have not replicated that. So, I mean, there is some money in men's stuff.
Yes. And there's some steaming in men's stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't like that. The steaming part. Like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, dress shirts. No.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Where do you predominantly source? What like? Yeah, for like where are you going? In Connecticut. I was just curious.
Yeah, so predominantly like the thrift store, the Goodwill. There's a really nice thrift store in Connecticut, in Deep River, Connecticut. If anyone listening is from Connecticut. It's called the Pandemonium River Thrift, and they donate to exotic animals. They have some like parrots and things like that the money goes towards caring for. But it's funny because I don't know if you saw my most recent Instagram, I was having a really bad sourcing month and I was like, maybe it's time to shift gears and source more online. So we'll see what I end up doing, but predominantly the thrift store, the Goodwill, Salvation Army. I mean, it's amazing, the items that you can find at the thrift store.
Yeah.
No, if you're patient and you're consistent and you're grateful and all those other good things that go along with it, you'll find a lot of great stuff there. And how about garage sales? Have you gotten into garage sales yet?
I haven't yet. And it's so funny because my town does like a town-wide tag sale. And I think it's in the spring. So I definitely think I'm going to hit it this spring and like make plans to have a babysitter. And I never have cash, so make sure I have cash.
Yes.
They do, it's really cute. They do like a town-wide map that you can get like down at the center of town. And they also have like a parking lot full of vendors there too. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I'm in kind of a rural area and there aren't a lot of tag sales, but like I would love to do a tag sale or an estate sale and really branch out.
Kristi, they're so fun. They're my favorite. It's just because there's a social element to it as well. Going up to someone's home, saying, hi, how are you? I love that the positive banter that goes on. And most people who are there, they're happy. They're happy to see you. They want you to buy all their stuff.
Yeah, right.
They want you to just take it. They're like, here.
Yeah. So I really do. I love it. And you can go on so many different sites. I bet you our friends over here, I have to say hi to everybody too. And Kristi, you do too. But yeah, garage sales and estate sales are by far my favorite.
Absolutely. Yeah, same here too. Like I said, you get to talk to people. You get to go perhaps in somebody's house and look around at all their stuff, and yeah,
Mhm.
they definitely want to sell it all to you. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ways. But unfortunately, in Minnesota, it's not all year that we can do that. So
Right. And not in the Northeast here, in Connecticut either.
yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's
So oh, sorry, Michelle.
oh no, go ahead. Go ahead,
Oh,
Dustin.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, let's maybe say hi to everybody in the chat here.
Yeah.
So we got Donna Ventura, and that's your mom,
Yeah. Hi,
Michelle.
Mom.
Oh,
Hi.
hey, mom.
Hey, Mom.
Nice to meet you. And we also have Melanie Esposito, who we're going to have on the show in a couple of weeks here. So thanks
Melanie.
for stopping in, Melanie.
Melanie's so sweet.
Absolutely. Okay, so we also have Kristen, a rural squirrel, coming in to say hi. Welcome, Kristen. Thank you. Also, Wendy Allenson. That's my mom. Hey, mom. Look, I'm on TV.
Hi, Mom.
I love it. I love the supporting parents.
I made it. I made it.
My mom wouldn't know how to get on YouTube.
My mom doesn't know either, but she did it.
We're proud of
Good job,
you.
mom. Good job, mom. All right.
Okay, so next question. What not?
What not? Ugh.
Give me the lowdown on anyways, I've had an experience too, but
I wanted to like love Whatnot, but there was just so many things that for me it didn't make sense. I'm not sourcing like low enough profitable items, low enough cost items. I have a bins kind of close to me, but I'm not sourcing there. And I just felt like I couldn't compete with these people doing $1 starts on things. I did like 3 shows and I think I lost money because I was trying to offer good prices, but I also was like doing giveaways, and you have to pay to send people the giveaways on Whatnot. You have to pay the shipping, even if it's like, like something you could fit in just like a regular mailing envelope. They charge you something like $4 for shipping. I don't know. I'm also super like socially awkward, and like at least now, right? Like we're talking, but I'm like trying to read the chat. There's not really people in the chat. You're asking them questions. They're not answering you. You're like, what are you looking for? Where are you from? How are you? And it's just like crickets. It was just kind of like a lot of things. There was so much prep that went into, hosting a show, making sure you transferred over photos, and I just didn't love it. And like I wanted to love it, but I just felt like it wasn't the right time. So I might like revisit it at some point, and I've shopped a bunch on there too, and I had really great experiences until recently. I don't know if you saw, I ordered a dress. It was supposed to be a designer dress, and it was totally fake. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
From like one of their like biggest sellers. And I reached out to support like 4 times, and they finally got back to me and they were like, send it to us, we'll authenticate it. And I was like, good luck. It had like blank tags on it, like the materials and care tags were just blank. There was like no RN number. I was like, you can't authenticate this. So I got my money back, but it was just like, I don't know. I'm like, you're literally like this huge seller, and it just put a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Well,
But like then there's like authentic, like good people out there. Like I would never sell, a fake item. Like I'm selling only like good quality stuff.
yeah. I'm nervous.
Lesson learned,
Yeah. I'm learning every day here too, but I almost avoid the high-end stuff now because I can't authenticate it. I have so many like all these jerseys I'm saving for Dustin because I don't know, if he has a better eye than I do with sports stuff. He's the sports guy. But
you wouldn't think that. I guess I didn't like. It wasn't like a crazy designer. It was like dress the population. So I don't even know if you would consider that like designer. Well, like I didn't even know they like made fake dresses like for like that brand. I thought it was like a safe brand. It's like mid-tier luxury, you know, but apparently nothing is off limits when it comes to, you know, fake stuff. So I totally get why you're holding off. I mean, it is frustrating because you want to be able to sell those things and, you know, grow your business and
it's
expand
hard
in
'cause
different ways. But
you can't stand up for yourself either, really. If somebody comes back and says it's fake, it's, you know, it's usually the customer that wins. So yeah, I just avoid those kinds of things. Have you noticed a change in, well, I guess, I mean, what like the price points of what you're selling at? I was looking at your price points, which are very similar to mine. Like it seemed like between 25 and 38 or somewhere in there. Yeah, I'm selling those same kinds of you know, price points. Have you noticed any designers that you've been selling that has it changed at all? Since I know people are trying to save money, has it changed for you?
like what they're buying or like how much?
Brands.
I don't know. I feel like my sales in the past month or so have been like a little bit less, but I also have not been doing as much as I should be. So I think it's like a reflection on that. You know what they say, like the more active you are on the platforms. But I don't think that like the actual brands and stuff has changed for me. It's just I'm still so new. I feel like it's hard. I've also been trying to try new things, so I don't necessarily have like a lot of the same kinds of items. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
do.
I'm glad to hear that you're like, we price similarly, because like that's a whole like learning experience too. Like I'll see some people are priced almost to like the brand, like if this was a new with tags item, but it's a used item. And that confuses me so much because I would love to be able to sell something that is not new with tags for almost new with tag prices. But that's like, doesn't happen for me, you know?
I think one of the most important things for me when it comes to trying to price stuff is checking out the sold items.
Yeah, for sure.
And that really, you know, and then I can kind of gauge it from there. So I just wanted to tell you that I'm a new seller too. I've been selling for 2 years, but I'm still super new. I'm still trying to find my little, you know, niche in the whole thing. So, and I'm very honest, you know, I've had a really crummy month. I've had a really crummy month. I sold, and I'm a part-time seller and I'm super transparent. I sold one thing today and it was a really, you know, nice thing. And for me, it was like $40 and like I paid $3 for it. So I was happy about that. I think that's like almost a tank of gas, right? I mean, that's how my brain thinks. And the day before yesterday, I didn't sell anything. It was so weird. I usually sell at least one thing. I told Dustin, I said, I didn't sell anything today. So
it happens to the best of us, honestly.
Yeah. So I had like a span of like 4 or 5 days where I had nothing. I forget if it was this month or last month. And it's funny because you go on Instagram and people are like, "Oh my God, it's the algorithm. What are they doing?" But it just happens, you know. Yeah. And then you can have like 10 sales, you know, the next week.
Yeah, that's it. But you're right. When I'm not very busy. Okay, so you have the 3 kids that are taking up so much time, and your boys are getting to the point where they've started playing sports, I'm sure. So now you're going to start juggling that. Yeah. I mean, one of the nicest things about being on Poshmark and doing this as I'm a single mom, only the one, but it's just I can work from the car. I can work from, you know, the baseball field if I have to. And I really like Liz Perfectly. I'm still new. I'm not sponsored or by anybody. So everything I say, it's just my experience. I have been having a hard time with Liz Perfectly because as a single mom, I need to be able to get to different platforms quickly and erase things quickly. And I can't do any of that on my phone with Liz Perfectly.
I know.
So and it's horrible because if I sell something on one platform, I actually took myself off eBay because I was having a hard time managing Mercari and Poshmark.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes hard to put a limit for yourself and be like, all right, and to save my sanity, I have to do this. But I did. I shut my eBay down for a little while.
Well, and there's been like a lot of issues with cross posting to eBay from List Perfectly. I don't know if you've been having those. So it's almost like, okay, like I could see being like, let me just take a break, because like half the time I would go to post, cross post, and like it wouldn't work. And I'm like, what the heck? This is my time. Like, this is all the time I have right now. And like,
and there's like this blue thing that has like 19 things they're working on. And you're like, wait, just look for eBay, which one.
And then it's like, try the beta version. And I told you, when we were messaging before this, like, I'm not like tech savvy. So I'm over here and I'm like, if I download the beta version, like, is all my data going to be gone? Like, which I'm sure it's not, but like, how will I get back to the regular version?
No, I know. It's like, if you take a picture and you put it in the computer, does that really count as a picture? Because it's not paper, right? Like, to me, I don't get it. Like, how did it just float around up there? What if I forget about what's floating around up there? I don't know what.
But thank God for these like cross-posting sites, because like how else would you do it? It would be so time consuming.
Yeah. How much? No, totally. How I have probably just maybe one more question and then a fun one.
Okay.
I hope everybody in the chat will enjoy and will laugh about it. But how much time a week do you think that you spend as a part-time seller? I'm just curious.
Probably like 5 to 10. So like very minimally part-time right now. Last year I was doing a lot more, but I was having a hard time balancing it. And then my youngest stopped napping. So there's like no nap anymore at all, ever. Okay. So, I mean, I definitely strive for 10. I would love it to be like 10 to 20, but lately it's been like 5 to 10, which is like so not a lot.
Yeah, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was really excited about having you on, because, the beautiful thing about reselling is that you can resell, 2,500 items, or you could resell 20, I don't know. You can do it so many different ways.
Right.
And I was really excited to have you on because I am a part-time reseller. It's not really, I'm a full-time reseller. I feel like it, but I love it.
My goal. Like, that's my goal. My youngest is going to preschool in the fall. He'll be going 3 days a week, like from 9 to 12. So I'm going to do so much like those 3 days of reselling. And then when he goes to kindergarten, my goal is like full-time. Like, that's it. I don't want to go back to my old job.
You know what? It's just such a blessing to have the opportunity to
and it's
do that.
So enjoyable. Like, it's so fun.
And then when you get really brave, you can go to the bins.
Yes. Well, I've been once.
You have.
But like, I don't know. It just, I didn't know how it all worked. And, the people like flocked to everything, and they just like, they basically like took as much as they could in their arms and dropped it in their cart.
Yeah.
And, like, pushed, and like one woman like ripped a pair of pants out of my hand, and I just didn't know what it was like. And I would go back, but like I have to like be like mentally prepared for that, and like, ready to go. It's just like 45 minutes away, and I do find good stuff at like my local thrift. So we'll see. But I haven't ruled out like doing the bins. I was even thinking about like, will I eventually want to do, this is totally different, but like pallets, like would I be interested in that? So, and that's the great thing. There's like so many options for us as resellers. There's so many different ways to do this.
And so much to learn, and I love the fact that you're thinking long-term and that you have a plan, because it's really important to set those goals for yourself, because when you own your own business, and that's what we do, you have to have some kind of schedule. You have to have goals. And if you want to have a more serious business, I guess. But I am just so thankful that you spent time with us today talking. And I have my funny question, and I hope that you guys get a kick out of it, because I don't know. I'm kind of nerdy, maybe, I think. But I get the kick out of the questions, like one of my favorite parts. Okay. So, are you ready? Are you ready, guys? Melanie, are you ready? Okay. What 3 items that you might purchase at the grocery store that might get a strange look from the cashier?
Oh,
And think about it. It's not any pressure. 3 things that you could buy at a grocery store that would make the cashier blush. What would it be? What would they be?
well, you should answer first, and I'll think.
Okay, because I do have an answer, but I kind of want to see what everybody says.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know.
I gotta say it again. 3 things that you buy at a grocery store that would make the cashier blush or feel like kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like feminine products, right?
For guys especially, yes. For guys especially.
My mother's on here. Mom, plug your ears. Okay.
Baby oil, right? Because like some people, like they think it's used for other things.
Yes. Okay, so here are my three things that would make. I'm sorry, Mom. Condoms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what my mom just chimed in with.
Condoms, donut, and a cucumber.
Wait, what was the second one?
Condoms,
Yeah,
donuts, and a cucumber.
yours
Oh my
is
God.
yours is really well put together.
Yeah, right. All 3 of those
Sorry, Mom.
things.
Well, mine are
Yeah.
feminine products,
You
baby
have to
oil.
make them the cashier has to blush. You have to push it
Yeah.
just a little, PG-13.
That was a good one.
What would my last one be? I don't know.
Let's see. Lanacane, my mom says.
I'm gonna
Duct
go
tape,
with, like,
rope, and shovel.
What? Kyler, oh no, plug your ears.
Imodium.
Imodium.
Then everyone knows that
baby
you're having
oil, and what
problems.
Yeah.
Baby
How
oil.
about Preparation H, Athlete's Foot spray?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about like a case of mayonnaise or something?
I like the antifungal foot cream.
Yeah.
That's pretty embarrassing.
I actually had to use that on my son's diaper rash at some point. I was like, wait, what? They were like, yeah, like athlete's foot cream. If it's a fungal diaper rash, you should use that. And I was like, this is so weird.
And then Melanie
Okay.
says duct tape, rope, and shovel. All 3
There
of
you
those
go.
together.
See,
Yeah,
everyone has like these well like put together. Like, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if that would make someone blush. That might make them afraid of you.
Call the police. Yeah, like call the cops or something.
That would be a really strange look, though, Melanie. Duct tape, rope, and a shovel. That's hilarious. Come on, Mom. Mom usually comes up with good stuff. Anyway, Lanacane's so funny. Anyway, I thought that was super funny and good answer. So,
I like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we are all set. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I think this was a great show. Thank you so much, Kristi, for joining us once again. We really
Thank you
appreciate
guys
it.
again for having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And it was so good to chat with you and, put a face to the name. I mean, I know I see your faces, but
We
it's
really
more when you can
appreciate
engage in a conversation.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And thank you for sharing all your personal stories about your family. And, it's nice. We really love to do the show because we want to learn about everybody, but also like just life, being like saying, I didn't sell anything the day before yesterday.
Right.
One today. Like there are some of us out there. So thank you so much. I can't wait to have you back in maybe 6 months and see.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, so we'll look forward to seeing you soon. And thanks again.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks so much. And don't forget to come back next week. We're going to welcome Scott the Cha-Ching King. So we'll see y'all then. Take
See
care,
you
everybody.
next Saturday, guys. Have a beautiful week. Bye. Peace
Bye.
out.
Thank you.
Bye.